Hey everyone, how's it going? So I'm going to walk you through this supply example. Remember, we're looking at Wawa. Wawa, a great company that we all would obviously love to own and operate. So some of you may be working at a Wawa or maybe someday managing a Wawa, but this is applicable to all businesses. So again, this is our standard worksheet here of supply and demand. This one here is going to mainly be supply that I'm going to walk you through. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, as we've learned, that you want to draw out all your demand supply curves and also label your graphs. So again, price goes on your y-axis, quantity goes on your x-axis, and then your demand curves are downward sloping based on the law of demand. Supply curves are upward sloping. All right, so the first thing I want you to do again is, before you even look at answering the economic events, is go ahead and draw your demand curves, draw your supply curves, draw your equilibriums, make sure your y and your x-axes are labeled with your price and quantity. To me, that's easy points. They're layout points. Again, everyone should be able to get this right. I have graded a lot of these over the years, and I see a lot of students that miss simple labels. So please go ahead and label that first. So right now I'm labeling my demand curves. Again, your original demand curve is going to be D1. And remember, they're, again, downward sloping based on that law of demand. Supply curves are upward sloping, so we're going to label that S1. Again, that's the law of supply. The law of supply states that if prices go up, more suppliers are going to supply more to the marketplace. Okay, so it looks like I have all my demand curves labeled. I have all my supply curves labeled. I have my price and quantity on my axes labeled. Again, now I'm going to go ahead and label my equilibrium. So go ahead and do that as well. Each one of your equilibriums will be your original price, which is P1, your original quantity, Q1, and that's the static situation. So again, every situation we're trying to isolate the situation, and then if an economic event happens, we're trying to figure out how that impacts my business, and more importantly, how it's going to impact prices and how it's going to impact quantities. Okay, so I'm almost ready to go there with all my axes labeled. All right, so number one is paper costs rise. So remember, there's four things that can shift the supply curve. Again, input costs, technology, number of sellers, and expectations. When you think of expectations, you should think of seller expectations. So again, input cost, paper is an input into not coffee, but obviously your coffee cup, and that's made out of paper. So if input costs go up, I know at Wawa that's going to increase the price of my product, because my supply curve is going to shift to the left because of that higher cost. That's going to push prices up. So you're going to label that your supply curve again shifts to the left. A shift to the left is a decrease in supply. All right, if that supply curve shifts to the left, that's going to push prices up to P2 and quantity down. All right, so go ahead and label that as well. So the next one is Starbucks announces bankruptcy. So they announced it hasn't happened yet. So anything that's announced is something that's going to happen in the future. It's not happening today. All right, so technically based on expectations, if I know they're going to go bankrupt in the future, I'm going to reduce my supply today. So that would shift the supply curve to the left. Typically that's not something that would happen in the coffee industry, but some other industries that would happen. All right, number three, Wawa increases their employee wages. So that's an input cost similar to paper into that business. Now it's important that this is Wawa employees. If it was Wawa, if it was employees in general, then that would be more of a demand curve. All right, so again, this is going to shift the supply curve to the left, just like it did before. All right, once we draw the supply curve to the left, then we're going to label P2, Q2, prices go up, quantity goes down. Wawa buys a new coffee machine. All right, that is technology. So that's allowing your ability to supply more to the marketplace. That would shift the supply curve to the right. All right, again, your new equilibrium's down there, and your price is going to go down, and your quantity is going to go up. All right, so then you're going to label in your price and quantity. All right, number five, coffee companies open today. So the key thing is it happens today. It's not a future event. That would be number of sellers, no change in demand. Go down here, supply curve is going to shift to the right, more supply, so again an increase is to the right. Here's your new equilibrium. You're going to label that P1 and Q2. All right, go up here and label that price is going down here, and quantity is going up. Number 6, Wawa closed store today, so the opposite of open. All right, so number of sellers and no change in your demand curve. Supply is going to shift to the left. All right, so shift to the left, S1 to S2. Price going up, quantity going down. Go ahead over here, price going up, quantity going down. Number 7, Wawa offers insurance to all employees. That's another input cost. Again, that would be a supply curve, so no change to demand. Supply would shift to the left. All right. Draw your shift to the left. Price is going up, quantity is going down. Price going up, quantity down. Number 8, Wawa offers free with ATM withdrawals. Right, technically there is no change, no impact as far as the supply curve is concerned. Now technically we could argue that that would be a demand curve, and we could argue that those are complements, but since we're learning supply here, we're going to have no impact. All right. The last thing I'd like you to do is go ahead and write your name at the top here. All right. And what you're going to do is go ahead and upload it into Canvas, embed it preferably into the discussion board, and then I'll give you some points for doing this. If you have any questions, let me know. But again, this is supply and supply shifts and price and quantity, how that impacts your business. Great job. Thank you very much.